Hi, PES TV, Nick Young here. I am with Luke Jenkins Jones and he's from Cardiff City, and we're going to talk a little bit today about alternative careers to primary education. So good morning, Luke, how are you doing?
Good morning, yeah, I'm well, thank you, Nick, yeah.
Luke, could we start off, you've got quite a grand title. What is your official title at Cardiff City?
Well, my official title is Early Years and Primary Education Coordinator.
Great. Reason we've got you on, I know we've chatted before, you used to be a primary school teacher and now this is your role at the foundation. So where were you teaching before?
I taught previously at Llanedin Primary School. So I actually held a number of roles at Llanedin. So I went to Llanedin as a sports coach, first of all, and then worked in their special resource base, and followed that on then, training as a teacher at Llanedin. And I did that for 6 years before moving on to my current role.
Okay. So what's your current role entail?
So currently I oversee or coordinate our Primary Stars programme, as well as another programme called Joys of Moving. So I look after a team of 5 coaches, and we work across just under 100 primary schools across South Wales and deliver those 2 programmes that look to support physical and mental well-being of children, improve physical activity, and try to create sort of more inclusive communities within primary schools.
Okay, so when you're going into schools, is that mainly movement through football? How does it look? How do you develop well-being?
Yeah, so we deliver predominantly football sessions, and we use football then as a driver to support physical activity and general understanding, I think, of sort of key terminology associated with physical and mental well-being. But alongside that, we'll deliver targeted interventions, and they're in the themes of PSHE, literacy and numeracy, and again using the power of Cardiff City, the power of football and the power of the Premier League to drive lots of those learning, but we try to sort of use football in terms of what is happening in football, teamwork, resilience, self-esteem, etc., and then we'll deliver those sessions, I guess, so they're relatable in the football world, but also in the real world.
Okay. So as part of primary education studies at Cardiff Met, we have in year 1 an alternative placement to try and broaden the horizons of our students. So as you've mentioned, there used to be a teacher and you're now in a different career. This, we're still working with children and you're still developing things you're passionate about in terms of well-being. So is there any tips that you've got for our students in terms of how you can move from role as a teacher into different careers?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at first I think what was key for me was my training and delivery as a teacher definitely created a platform for me to move on to something slightly different within education. I think that there were so many doors open because lots of the skills that we develop as educators are transferable into lots of different careers. So I think you've got to be brave, first of all, and you've got to be willing to not just see yourself as an educator in schools. You can be an educator in a number of different roles, and I look at myself in this role. So firstly, be brave and don't be afraid to take that leap from education into other industries. But use what you love as well from education and use as a driver. For me, health and wellbeing was massive, and it was something that I led and something I was strongly believed in within education and within teaching. And I used that then to find another role where I could have greater impact or greater reach, and do a job that I love. I love teaching, but now I feel I'm in a position where my love for health and well-being can have a greater impact and a greater reach. But I couldn't have done that without, I think, becoming an educator first.
Yeah, I think that's just so important that, you, as you said, you can follow these passions and they can still be realised, but not just in the classroom. And you've got as you were speaking earlier about how many primary schools you work with, and potentially you can have a bigger impact in the role you're in now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so important. Any other tips in terms of, we're trying to broaden the horizons of our students. Were there any other things, any other careers you were looking at, or was it just this one here?
Yeah, I think I'd had a number of careers alongside sort of teaching, so not so much careers but experiences. So I may volunteer at certain places like local football teams or community groups, etc. So I think it's definitely getting different experiences outside of education. I think that would be one of my top tips, for sure. Any other top tips I could give you?
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. No, as I say, my top tip would 100% be view education as something that is a tool, a platform for something wider, and there are so many opportunities out there for you. There really are. Whether that's in education, whether that's in history, whatever passion you've got, just get in there and have a look at what's out there, and use education as a platform to move into those different roles, because they are out there.
Brilliant. We'll obviously be in touch, Year 1 students, about potential opportunities at Cardiff City and the Foundation. But thanks so much for your time today, Luke. It's been really helpful.
Thank you, Nick. Always a pleasure.